Oh, I didn't realize we were doing a texting video. Man, I can't believe it. 3 stags. Stagg! Welcome to AM Whiskey. I'm Aaron. This is Mark. And today we've got a little treat for you. Well, mostly for us, but hopefully also for you.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at some pretty heavy hitters here, in my opinion.
We definitely have about 390 proof worth of alcohol on the table. We'll call it Stagg Day. So we've got 22A, which is the most recent batch coming out of Buffalo Trace, 132.2 proof.
I think 23A is more recent, isn't it?
No,
No?
I think, well, that's a whole
I know
snafu.
22A came after 22B, but 23A I think came after both of those.
It varies depending on your markets. And so 22A is the bottle that had the labeling issue
Right.
that got held back.
Right.
And when it hit in your market, maybe you got lucky and you got it before 22B, maybe not likely.
Who cares? Let's
Also,
drink
it might have been behind 23A. Who knows? 23A coming in at 130.2. And then last but not least at 130.9 in the middleweight class. I believe this is batch 16.
It is batch 16. If you notice, this still has the junior attached to it. I think it's the second to last batch before they
Drop the
remove
junior. So if I remember, that's 2021. Either
I think it's 2021 or 2022, or the first release in 2020, probably 2021.
yeah.
I'd have to go back and double check.
I'm pretty sure it's spring of 2021.
Stagg is one of those bourbons that, I mean, I've never heard anything really bad about it. It's one of those that everybody's looking for, hard to get, twice a year release, probably one of the more sought after Buffalo Trace regular releases, not like the BTAC or the Pappy. Other than that, it's one of the more sought after bottles. The batch that we both have enjoyed the most has been 16. We've tried 12. People talk about 12 like it's the holy grail. We had 16. We both actually liked 16 better than 12. I mean, maybe that was because this is the first bottle of Stagg that either of us got, and so maybe it's just the nostalgia, but we actually enjoyed that better. So we're gonna stack it up against the two newest releases and see if it really is that good or whether it's just the nostalgia.
Sounds like a plan.
Either way, it's some damn good whiskey in here in
Yeah.
all of these bottles.
And I think between these three, there's a fair amount of variance that we're going to probably talk to. So, I've been sitting here nosing 22A, and it's a really bright nose for me. It's a fruity nose. I don't get any spice really on the nose from 22A, which is interesting because it's the highest proof of the group. I think this is the 132.2,
132.2.
right?
Yeah.
So 22A is the highest proof.
It's actually fairly bright for what Stagg normally is. I get some floral notes on here. I get some cherry.
Yeah, I'm getting fruity notes, cherry.
It's kind of like that Luden's cough drop cherry. I used to love those things as a kid. I would just pop them like candy.
I'm not getting any dark notes. Maybe a hint of wood. It's really, really faint.
I get a little bit of spice. I definitely get some proof on here. I can taste that, or not taste it, smell that ethanol. It's not overpowering.
Yeah, on the palate, I mean, the proof's there. A little bit of wood spice, I'd call it. Maybe proof spice. But then it's just a nice, bright, clean drink.
That cherry note that I get on the nose, that kind of medicinal or like cough drop cherry, comes through a lot on the palate. Very nice for me personally. Everybody's palate's different. I very much enjoy that note. I do get a little bit of spice. There's some wood on the back. Not a whole lot. I mean, these are generally thought to be about 6 to 8 years. It's non-age stated, so we don't know for sure. Some are older, some are younger, some, you know, it's a mystery. It's Buffalo Trace. They kind of do what they want, and everybody wants it.
No, it's really good.
Very good. I mean,
I definitely got the cherry note on the second
none of these
sip.
are bad.
You know, one of the things I like about Stagg, and most foolproof or barrel-proof offerings from most distilleries, it doesn't take a lot, right? Just a little nip, just a wee nip is all you need to get the experience. And then, you know, the finish on this I think is moderate. I wouldn't call it super long. It's long, don't get me wrong. It's 45, 60 seconds. I mean, it's amply long. But I feel like there's some bourbons that last a little longer.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the best finish I've ever had, but it is definitely a good finish. I mean, this, you smell this, you taste this, you look at this, you know that this is a good bourbon. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. When you put this to your nose, put this to your lips, finally gets down here, it's good.
23A is different. For Stagg, it's just so different on the nose.
And that's...
Like on this, it's darker. I have caramel right away.
I will say I do like that they're actually putting the batch numbers on the bottles now. You don't have to go to a list of all the different proof points to try and figure out what batch
You mean you don't
got.
have them all memorized?
I do not have them all memorized.
Oh.
So it's nice that they went to that. But you're going to get a little variation throughout, and that's kind of why we're doing this. But regardless, you can get your hands on a Stagg. Get your hands on a Stagg, especially at MSRP. MSRP on this are, what, $55, $60, $65, somewhere around there? If you can find it for that, buy as many as they will let you walk out of the store with. Secondary market, these go, I've seen them from 200 to 250 upwards, depending on the batch. I don't know that I would pay that much for these, but it's getting close to the point where I would pay it, especially if I didn't have one, just to be able to get one of these in. I mean, this is a damn good pour.
So, I mean, I've been nosing batch 23A. I've done 1 or 2 sips. So the nose is different, right? The nose on 23A to me is dark and a little bit spicier.
I'm getting a lot of caramel. But that backing of spice, but that was just a lot of caramel up front.
Ton of caramel up front. The spice on 23 hangs around. So 23A is definitely spicier. It's lower proof. And it's definitely more caramel forward. I actually like the nose on 22A better. And I slightly like the palate better on 22A. But it's the finish I think I like most so far on 23A. Like that finish on 23A, I don't know how long it's been since I have a sip, but I can still taste it. And I can still taste it clear as day.
I could time it, but...
Yeah. No, the finish on 23A, it's, when I drink it, it's thicker. Like I feel like it's thicker. It's definitely thicker.
That proof hit you there. I mean, they're different. I get the brighter kind of floral fruit notes on the 22A. The 23A, I get some of those darker sweet notes. Again, that caramel is in there. And that just hits me right up front. And then you get that spice in the back. And then I am getting a little of that proof coming down, just flowing down. It's not terrible. I mean, again, for 130 proof, it doesn't drink that hot. But you definitely know you're drinking some proof here.
It's a spicy bourbon. It's a spicy Stagg.
It's a spicy meatball.
Yep. It's definitely, 23A is spice. It's spicy. 22A,
I mean, I don't know that I would. Spice isn't the dominant note I get on
No.
that. That's what lingers, though. That finish,
Mhm.
I get that spice on lingering, but that sweet note that hits the front of my palate, that's what I remember most about that. And that's just that straight caramel. It's that sweet that Buffalo Trace does so well. Very good. Now, this is moving on to the one that we both have considered to be, of the ones that we've had, probably our favorite. Am I going out on a limb?
No, you're not. It's so.
I'll say right off the bat, it's my favorite nose of the three.
It's good. It's really good. It's more rounded. It's a mixture of the two.
Bless.
You know, we had 12 and 16.
Ooh.
12 and 16 just hanging out with some friends, and the differences was so splitting hairs. Maybe my palate or my grading system isn't that developed, but you were literally talking hairs between 12 and 16, in my opinion.
I think it was a pretty thick hair, in my opinion. The 12 was good. I thought the 16 was definitely a half step ahead of it, in my opinion.
On the nose here, I'm getting some of the sweet characteristics that I got from 22. There's a touch of caramel in it. And on this one, I'm picking up
I just get
a touch of wood and spice.
I get so much. Every time I go back, I get something different. I've gotten some citrus. I've gotten some caramel. I've gotten the wood. I mean, oh man.
Here's another thing that's interesting. So I just swirled 16, and after swirling it, I didn't get any ethanol.
Yeah, they're
No, I can't do that with 23.
of the three, this is the least proofy on the nose. And again, it's
22 isn't far off.
it's
It's more proofy, but it's not like 23. 23 spice
Here, I
and
get some of
proof
that-
comes through.
that grape note. Oh.
It's interesting.
I need a minute. Uh,
16, so 16, it's just more rounded. It's more blended. It's a combination of some of the best aspects of these two bottles combined. Plus, there's a couple other notes in it. Like, I feel like...
have you ever had a cowtail?
I don't think so. I've ever had a cowtail.
Or those like caramels with the cream in the center?
So that's what a cowtail is?
Well, a cowtail is like a longer, like a rope version of that. Skinnier.
I've had the little caramel with the cream in the middle.
That's-
I've never had the longer, elongated,
well, you know.
twirly version of that.
Hey.
No.
But I gotta. That's what that last sip reminded me of. It. I got like a creamy caramel note. I get wood. I get some brightness from that. That was a very floral. I mean, again, maybe I'm biased. This is the first Stagg I ever got. I was ecstatic when I won this.
Yeah, I think
But,
you were destined to get batch 16. that
I
day.
really wanted a Stagg, so I kept it, and I'm happy. Very, very good.
Yeah.
This is one of my top whiskeys that I've ever had.
No, I my humble opinion is, so I've had H. Taylor Barrel Proof, I've had Stagg, multiple of them, and I've had a couple Blanton straight from the barrel. I think all three are in the ballpark. It just depends on your flavor profile and your preferences. If you like the spice and the heat and the wood, I think you'd probably be a Stagg guy. If you like different sweet characteristics or really, really on the sweet side, you're probably going to be an H. Taylor Barrel Proof guy. And then the Blantons is somewhere in the middle.
So I just went from the batch 16 back to the 23A, and all I could taste was the spice.
Oh, I know. She's a spicy
So
meatball.
No,
it's spicy.
I didn't get that as much when I went the other way, but coming back this way, ooh,
no. You like spicy bourbon, 23A is going to be your game.
23A is definitely
Now,
the
it'll be
spicy
interesting to see if the bottle changes after getting this much air in it and letting it sit for 3 or 4 months. It's still oilier and it's still thicker than the other two. Like, mouthfeel-wise, I think 23A's got to be the top 2, if not the best one. But she's spicier.
All right, stack ranking. What's your third place bottle?
23A. I think it coats the mouth the best.
Debatable.
The spice doesn't die. It's not my flavor profile.
I agree. 23A is my least favorite. Then I'm going 22A, and no surprise, batch 16's my number 1.
I can't differentiate the difference between 22A and 16.
Really?
I'm having the same problem I had between 12 and 16, that they were so close. They're different. But as I've been sitting here taking my notes and writing down little things, it's
Maybe I need to revisit it.
they're pretty damn similar. They're different qualities, but like the fruity or clean is similar. I think the main difference is that 16's a little bit more rounded because it's got a stronger spice and wood characteristic, I feel like. I think that's where 16 wins over 22.
I mean, I feel like you just said they're different qualities, but then you're trying to say they're equal. That just, I mean,
They're really similar. It's splitting hairs. I don't have a lot of hair to split.
I don't think it's splitting hairs. I definitely have 16 higher than 22A. Don't get me wrong. All 3 of these bottles are phenomenal.
Yes.
And honestly, I haven't had a Stagg that I wouldn't recommend getting, especially if you can get these at MSRP. Buy all day long. Don't even think about it. But if I had to pick one, 16A. Or not 16A, batch 16.
I am going back and forth. I actually think well, you know I'm not a spice guy and I'm not a rye guy.
Well, that's the thing. Batch 16, I don't get that. I don't think, ooh, that's spicy. I think it is so well balanced that there's not one note that wins out over any of the others. You get all these notes, and every time you go back, you might get a little something different. Every time I nose that glass, I get a little something different. And that, to me, the complexity and the balance of that pour, to me, is just a step above both of these. These are both phenomenal, and I think these are really close. This is going to come down to, do you like that sweeter, brighter note, or do you like that kind of darker, spicier note? In that case, these could be kind of a coin flip. For us, this one came in third.
Yep.
You know, you were kind of debating between these two. For me, clearly this one's a step above. Again, you cannot go wrong with a bottle of Stagg. A bad bottle of Stagg is better than 90% of the bourbon out there.
I would agree. Especially if you get
My
it at
humble
retail.
opinion, you get it at retail.
$50-$60 for barrel proof. It whoops Booker's. It whoops Wood for barrel proof or batch proof we did a review on. It'll whoop benchmark. It
Whoops
whoop 'em all.
everything.
It whoops them all.
Anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
the problem is that it's just not available.
right.
Right?
And
It's super
that's
hard.
the biggest thing is you just can't find it. But if you can get it, and especially if you can get it at MSRP, get it.
You want to know which one I like the most?
Sure.
You don't want to know which one I like the most.
I mean, I don't care.
I
I know which one I like the most.
16, the most rounded, my flavor profile. It's 22A.
Well, you're wrong, but I'm happy for you.
Yep, if I was wearing glasses, I'd adjust them like this right now.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. I mean, everybody's palate's different. What I like, he might not like. What he likes, I might not like. What we like, you might not like.
And that's why there's so much different whiskey and so many different choices. In actuality, you got 3 different batches of a really good whiskey, and we're nitpicking
Yeah.
and arguing over 3 really good bottles.
Yeah.
I wouldn't kick any of these off my liquor cabinet,
No,
right?
no.
And I'm going to drink them all
Yeah.
and enjoy them all.
Yeah.
And have fun times, giving people a hard time,
100%.
and just enjoy them. So, you know,
In the end of the day, we're all winners here because we get 3 great whiskeys, and yeah, if we want to go ahead and nitpick, we can, and that's kind of
that's exactly
we
what we're
like to do.
That's exactly what we're doing.
That's what we
Yeah,
like to
we're
do.
having fun. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, provide us some feedback.
Let us know what you think. We're here. We want to give you guys the content that you want. Let us know what you want to hear about. We'll see what we can do.
Until the next time, keep the whiskey flowing.